We got one soul. Let's see if we gonna. All right, we're gonna.
Here, let's see if we get somebody. Hello. Looks like Victor. We're waiting. We're waiting. Connecting. All right. Hello.
Hey, man, what a pleasure talking to you, man.
All right. Fantastic. Your name is Victor.
Yep,
And where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil. Nice to meet you. Hello.
Nice to meet you too, man.
All
You
right.
are kind of
How
mentor
can I
to
help
me.
you? Oh, well, fantastic. I'm happy to help. Remember, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just showing you like how people should be learning. The problem is the traditional way, it really just sucks. It makes
I, I,
everything
re-
more
I
difficult for everybody.
I remember receiving emails from you on my email box
Uh-huh.
a long time ago, maybe some 2, 3 years ago. But
Oh, really?
yeah, and I also remember your videos with your daughter. That
Yep.
you're teaching her by using phrasal verbs and stuff. And I use it with my kid right now,
Yep.
my
Yep.
3-year-old boy.
Yep. So you're teaching
So
teaching him
nice.
English.
Yeah, I'm teaching him English. He's 3 year old and 3 years old, and I teach him by playing with him, and many things that I teach him, the way that I teach him, I got from you for your method.
Oh, fantastic. If you go to my YouTube channel, you will find a playlist there that's perfect for your son. So it's for absolute beginner, and he could just watch that and he would learn more and you would see more about how to teach him some basic things also. It's called like the maybe I think it's called like the best beginning English grammar playlist or something like that. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find it there. This is for
Yeah,
people who want to learn from absolute zero.
he's learning a lot because, for example, when I'm taking shower, I say, "Hey, close your eyes," and
Uh-huh.
hey, hold your breath. So his listening skills
Yep.
is very accurate
Yep.
because he's living the English, not just learning in a boring way.
Yep. Yep. And that's the thing. The mind wants to learn. It's just that traditional methods make it difficult for the brain to understand. And when you don't understand, you get frustrated and you can't speak. So
Yeah,
this is basically the
yeah,
problem most people
and
have. But yes, that's fantastic. Well, it's good to see you still here, still learning, still improving.
yeah, and I I thank you, but because I'm a fan of you, of your work, of your job. I think you will help many thousands of people around the world to keep motivated and keep learning toward the fluency.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure helping people, and I get to meet interesting people like you every day. So I get to talk with people. I get emails from people
Yeah,
all over the world. We have a lot of help a lot of students in Brazil actually. I want to go down
yeah.
there. I'd like to travel to Brazil, but yeah, I have a friend
Have you never
actually
been to
here in
Brazil?
Spain. No, I've not
Have you
been to
never been to
Brazil. The
Brazil?
closest I've been, no, I've been to Colombia. That's the closest I've been in South America, but not to Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Are you still living in Japan?
That's one of
In
those.
Japan?
Yep. So I'm in Nagasaki right now, but yeah, it would be nice to travel down there. Maybe after COVID goes away, if it goes away, then I can come down there and visit people.
So visit Brazil whenever you can.
I will.
Gonna
I
like it.
will. Can I help you with anything? Any questions you need answered, or you're just happy to chat for a moment? Anything I can help you with?
I think you have already answered to look to your YouTube channel again to get some methods to keep teaching my child. So I think you have answered me.
Yeah. And if you haven't, do you know about my app, Frederick? Have you seen that already?
Yeah, I've seen it, but it's a long time that I don't remember.
We're constantly updating it. So if you have not downloaded it, you can start showing that to your son. He can start teaching himself the alphabet and teaching himself to read.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep him away
From
from.
coffee.
Yeah, I think it's better for now, for now.
Even if you don't share it with him, it will show you exactly the order in which to teach stuff. So you can look at the phone yourself and say, okay, here's the lesson I should be teaching, and you can work with him that way.
Yeah, yeah, can be.
But
Thank
definitely
you.
show him the videos, and he will. If you're letting him watch videos, but even if you don't, you will see how I do it, and you can just copy that same thing in without using videos.
Yeah. But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Uh, I try to talk to him in English, but I also talk to him in Portuguese. For example, I
Yeah.
was reading to him a story in English right now, and every sentence I read in English and I translate it to Portuguese, some in order to reinforce. Maybe he understood in the first place, but I think that it can be good, for him to learn both English and Portuguese at the same time. Do you have some? I, what do you think about it? It's good or not?
Sure, sure. Well, I teach my daughters Japanese and English, and so they are getting both. I think it's a good idea to teach, as many languages as there are in the family. Maybe you have a grandmother who speaks, I don't know, Spanish or whatever, something like that. And it's okay to do that. I want to, whatever language you're teaching, the lesson should be understandable in that language. So what I mean is, I just draw like a very simple example. So if you imagine this is like an English sentence or some words on a page in a book. If I'm reading this in English, I want to make sure, like this is like the English version here, that I'm saying to my child, if they understand that, then that's okay. But what I don't want to do is try to go like, okay, we're going to teach it into like Portuguese first and then translate that back into English. So you
Hmm.
don't want to have like one language being kind of stronger than the other one in this way, because that will just teach them to translate one language into another. And being in Brazil, Portuguese will be stronger for your son than English if you use English more. Does your wife or anybody else in the house use English at all?
Yeah, everybody kind of speaks English, but I am the one that speak more with him in English.
Okay. Yeah. So if you can do that, like if you can read a book, or if you're even not reading the actual words, often with my younger daughter, so I have a 2-year-old daughter also, and if I won't like read all of the words, I'll just talk about the picture. And so you can make like customize the English or the story for that level. So you might have a book, even like a more complicated book, but you're just talking about the pictures. Like, oh, look, there's a horse and this thing. You want to make it so that it's understandable in the language you're using
Hmm.
without trying
Yeah,
to do that. So it is very,
it's
very important.
it seems that when I read a sentence and I translate it right away, it seems it's more interesting to him. It seems to I grab his attention more effectively
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
when I
It might be because
translate.
he doesn't understand what you're saying, though. That would be my only worry about that. So if he's listening to your English and he's just kind of like, all right, well, I don't quite know what that means. I'll wait for the Portuguese. Then like that's already
Yeah.
that's doing this over here. So be careful. That would be my only advice about that. So anytime I'm trying to like, it's almost like a cheating way. Like I could say like I'm going to teach some Japanese to one of my daughters through English. I'm going to say, all right, well, this is what it means, and I'm going to explain it like that. But like I don't want them to make those connections in their head. They really should be able to have them as kind of two separate things and understand the same way. But you might tell a more complicated story in Portuguese and a simpler story in English if his
Hmm.
Portuguese is stronger than that. So just like be careful about something like this. Another thing I would recommend is if you let him listen, even if you don't let him watch some videos or something, let him listen to other people reading the same story. So you can find, and this is what I also recommend for adult English learners. This is why in my programs I have lots of different speakers saying the same thing, because that's going to improve his listening and his pronunciation as well. So he won't just get it from you and how you have like a little bit more like Brazilian way or Portuguese kind of sounding English. he will get to hear the same story by other people. So not just one person, but find 5 different people. You can often find popular stories on YouTube that are just other people reading them. So if it's a children's
Okay.
book, I would recommend doing that. So that will give him lots of good input, and that's really the most important thing. So you don't want to teach him to translate. You can make the Portuguese stronger, so it's maybe more difficult because his Portuguese level is higher. But don't use that as like a cheating way of trying to give him some English. You really want him to be excited about the English, and you'll know he is when he's understanding it. And so he feels, I actually understand what my dad is saying, and that's the puzzle right there. That's like the video game where you're solving the problem. So if it's too difficult, that's when you need to use Portuguese to explain it. So you really try doing something just in English without going back and forth, unless it's understandable the same way. It should be like this. So you have the
Or
story,
maybe,
Portuguese and English, like that.
or maybe as they are child books, and they are short. They are short books, so I can read maybe the entire book in English, and after I can read the entire story in Portuguese.
Yep,
Maybe.
yeah. That's a great way to do it too. Again, it doesn't matter if you're like alternating or you do the whole thing in English and then the whole thing in Japanese or Portuguese, but it doesn't need to be the exact same story. You can tell a simplified version, an easier version in English if his English level is lower, but he still gets the same positive feeling and understanding from that. So it's like if there's here's a boy next to a box, and I say like boy, like the boy is next to the box. Very simple. But like I might tell a more complicated version of that in Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese, but the same kind of thing where it's like making a much more interesting story about that. But the point is it's understanding it that really makes you feel good about language learning. And he will start speaking much more naturally if he understands. That's really that's the whole key. That's the whole thing I teach.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, give those a try and post sometime. Let me know how it goes. Say if you give it a try, and like if he's you will know very quickly if they understand. They will feel positively about that, and they will say, "Ooh, like read me some more. Tell me some more."
Yeah, it's nice because I see that he's happy, and he likes to show to others that he's learning English. I like to show to my friends, oh, look, Thiago, he knows English. He knows English. Hey, Thiago, do you speak English? And he says, I do. And so he understands that is another language. It is not Portuguese. He understands already. But I was in doubt about the reading one sentence in Portuguese and one sentence in English. So
it's okay. Just to be clear about that, it's okay if you alternate, but don't use Portuguese to teach English. Make the English easy to understand so that you don't need to again, that's like what people do in a classroom is like the English is, or whatever the language is, but the English is too difficult to understand. That's why people put translations and try to talk about grammar and all these other things. It helps you learn, but it stops you from speaking. All right. So that's the whole key. All right. Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure meeting you. Hopefully everything is going well in Brazil. And if you know other people who struggle, send them my way so I can help them.
Yeah, I recommend you to many friends that are learning English, and you are.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're a great teacher. Thank you for your job.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. All right. Well, you enjoy your day over there, and I will sign off with everybody else over here. But tell you said your son's name is Thiago.
Thiago. Yeah. He's sleeping. It's 8 of night here.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess it's the evening over there. All right. Well, good night to you. Hopefully everyone's doing well, but keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great thing.
Yeah, maybe next time if him here and I try to get in touch with you and make him speak in English with you a little bit. It would be nice.
Record a video of it and
oh yeah, you can record it and send you. Yeah. Nice idea.
All right. Well, have a fantastic evening and get some sleep over there.
Yeah, see you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, so that was Victor. Hopefully everybody else has enjoyed that. Hopefully you benefited from that as well. Let me see where